Good morning, folks. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. It's time to the Gorilla. Welcome to the definition of anarchy. Today, on July 27th, 2020, on a Monday, I want to talk about the NFAC in Kentucky again. They were there to see what was going on with the Breonna Taylor investigation, make sure those cops were duly investigated and that they see the true punishment that they needed to get, because they didn't handle that properly, and the young woman is dead. I don't care what anybody says about her affiliation, the so-called affiliation with a drug dealer. Having an affiliation with a drug dealer does not give you a death sentence, all right? Not to mention the person of interest with that warrant was already in custody. So let's move on from that. I talked about the accidental discharge yesterday, okay, that occurred during their formation, during their protest. And, of course, I had some criticisms if certain things occurred to make that happen, like maybe poor trigger discipline, poor muzzle discipline, or whatever the case may be. But I saw a video last night that was made by Grandmaster Jay, the leader of the NFAC, and he gave his side of the story. And one thing he said that makes total sense is that those that are criticizing and talking shit weren't there. They weren't there when it happened, so they don't know jack. They're just running with a narrative. They're running with some shit that they heard from the mainstream media. The mainstream media put it out there as though, there was a shootout or there was some friendly fire that occurred. According to Grandmaster Jay, who was there, and many others, that's not what happened, okay? And, when I found out about this, and I found out that the cops didn't arrest anybody, and that the cops weren't like, oh, and when I found out that they were able to continue their march afterward, I was like, okay, there's more to it than this. Not only did they continue their march, but a couple of people that were accidentally shot, they were able to continue marching. They were able to go on through with the march. Now, one thing he said that occurred, okay, every participant had to sign a waiver, okay, saying that if they caused any type of harm, if they were negligent and they shot something or somebody by accident or shot themselves, then they're solely responsible, blah, blah, blah. And they were all also doing weapons safety checks with everyone's weapons. All right, there were like 3,500 people there. And, that's a lot of people. And Grandmaster Jay was doing firearm safety checks, make sure everything was good to go. Make sure that, the safeties were on, made sure that, people had clean weapons, you inspect it, you make sure that there was no round in the chamber, whatever the case may be. And the individual whose shotgun went off, this person had an old school shotgun, all right, old school shotgun. It was kind of, and apparently there was a round loaded, and he was in the back. He had yet to receive an inspection for his firearm, okay? So it's like 90 something degrees. These people are standing, and I can attest to this. I was stationed in Georgia and all this other stuff when I was in the military, stationed in Kansas, a lot of hot places, fucking Korea, and just super hot places, right? And you're standing there in formation with all your gear on, and it's hot as fuck. People do tend to pass out if they're not properly hydrated. And that's exactly what happened to this individual, according to Grandmaster Jay. How can I speak out against that? I can't, all right? Because I wasn't there. So what happened was the guy's back there. It's super hot. He has a shotgun. He passes out. The shotgun falls muzzle first to the ground, all right? This causes the bounce, causes the trigger to go or whatever, and the firearm discharges into the pavement, okay? 3 other people were hit with shrapnel from the cement. Not from buckshot, but from the shrapnel that was caused by the buckshot hitting the cement, okay? That's what happened. His weapon hadn't been inspected yet. Their every intent was to inspect weapons, make sure everything was properly done, and they actually took they took heed to a lot of the criticisms that people were saying about the Stone Mountain March. All right. And they applied it to this. Okay. No incident like this occurred at Stone Mountain. Okay. They get to Louisville, Kentucky. Some guy passes out, drops his shotgun. That type of shit happens. This shit happened when I was in the military. Okay. Shit like that happened. All right. Motherfuckers. I mean, we were low crawling under some 50 cal. This is during training. All right. Training. They have 50 caliber machine guns, Gatling guns, stationed on one side, and you have to crawl through the mud under razor wire as 50 caliber rounds are blazing over your head with tracers and all that. And you do it at night. It's actually it's sweet. It's beautiful. But one guy panicked, stood up, got his cap peeled by a motherfucking 50 caliber, got his head blown off. This type of shit happens, man. By trained individuals. This type of shit, head blown off by a 50 caliber round, standing up, panicking, okay? Because you have 50 caliber rounds zooming over your head, right? It's not like right over your head. It's maybe like a few feet above your head. This guy stood up, boom. One of the fucking shits were lower than the others, and the shit happens, man. So this is what happened at the NFAC protest. Not even during the protest, but before the march, before they marched down to the courthouse. Okay. Now, something else I said that was incorrect, apparently, was that now I said I didn't know how this firearm was discharged. I said if there were poor trigger discipline, poor muzzle discipline, then some shit needs to change. Well, apparently that's not what happened. All right. According to the people that were there. All right. You can argue against it all you want, but you weren't there. It is what it is. So there was no confrontation with 3%ers. They didn't even see the 3%ers. They had heard that they were around, but they didn't actually see them. There was no confrontation with the 3%ers and the black, BLM tried to get in there. They wouldn't let the BLM in. It was all NFAC. They wasn't letting the BLM rock with them. So those people that are trying to say that they're aligned with the BLM, miss me with that nonsense. All right. So he passed out. The shotgun fell. It went off. Shrapnel from the ground hit some people. This type of shit happens when you have thousands of firearms and thousands of people carrying firearms. It doesn't happen every day, but it can happen. All right. So I just wanted to come up here and let y'all know, give you guys the account according to someone who was there. First-hand knowledge from Grandmaster Jay. All right. So anyway, big ups to NFAC. Like I said, I don't agree with them talking about burning shit down. I didn't actually hear him say that. That was some quote from the fucking news media. Okay. He probably said it. I don't know. I don't agree with that type of shit, but I agree with making shit happen for yourself, making sure shit happen for your people, actually getting down there, putting boots on the ground and make sure shit gets done. All right. People are talking about, oh, they want free handouts and they want this. No, they're out there 90 degrees marching, making sure that their people are protected, making sure that people get justice. They're not just saying, oh, give me some land, give me some land, give me some land. No, they're out there trying to make shit happen. All right. Whether you agree with it or not, whether you agree with a bunch of black people carrying firearms marching through the streets, whether you like that shit or not, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have every right to do it too. If you don't agree, if you don't like it, if you want to get your own march together, you want to get your own people with your own firearms together, go ahead and handle that. Matter of fact, that happens. You know what I'm saying? There shouldn't be a problem with the NFAC doing it. Shouldn't be a problem with the 3%ers doing it. Shouldn't be a problem with the Boogaloo Boys doing it. With the BLM, as a matter of fact, BLM Boogaloo Boys, they got together to stand up for Second Amendment rights in Virginia. Big ups to that. Black and white people working together to make sure the system of oppression doesn't bear down too hard on them. So for those of you who are trying to make it seem like I'm being racist and all that shit because I stand with the NFAC and what they're doing, and that I pointed out that they're sloppy white militia members, get over yourself. It's true. It's true. He wanted to point out the NFAC and they sloppiness. Guess what? I'm going to point out the sloppiness of the white militias. So what? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Just because he didn't say, oh, look at those black bastards over there. No, just because he didn't say that don't mean that that's not what it is. I mean, of all the militias, of all the marches, of all the people that get together to stand for Second Amendment rights and all that's the one. Those are the ones you want to point out. I looked through all his videos. I looked through all of it. He ain't criticizing all kind of motherfucking militias. That's the only one he's doing criticizing. So y'all can miss me with that nonsense. And for those of you who keep talking about, oh, why don't you go to work and get a job and get your own shit, motherfucker, I make over $100,000 a year working. You understand? I don't sit on my ass expecting people to hand me shit. I do plan on buying my own land and doing all that all on my own. But just because we owe some shit don't mean we ain't owe some shit. You understand what I'm saying? Just because I'm willing to do that and many people are willing to do it doesn't mean reparations aren't owed. Just because you don't agree that reparations aren't owed because, oh, you're not a slave anymore. So what, motherfucker? Shit. You think you die? Your debt dies with you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? For those of you claiming to be Native American in my comment section, well, I feel like y'all should be able to stand up and get y'all shit cracking too. Y'all are owed reparations. If you're really Native American, you are owed reparations just like black slaves. Because it happened here in the United States. We ain't talking about what happened in Europe. We ain't talking about what happened in Africa. We ain't talking about what happened in Australia. We talking about this motherfucking country right here. And I'm not leaving this fucking country. I'm not leaving this land. You leave. Don't tell me to leave. You leave. Or make me. What you gonna do about it? I ain't going no motherfucking where. And I can criticize whatever the fuck I want to criticize. Bitches. What? I ain't worried about y'all. Keep coming in my conversation with your bullshit, with your hypocrisy, with your cognitive dissonance. Keep riding on the coattails of Trump, who just said that Hillary Clinton is a great woman. Oh, he's a great woman. Oh, Bill Clinton was a great president. Oh, they're such great people. When he was just talking about locking her ass up, what you gonna say about that? Not a motherfucking thing. You know why? Because you're dick riders. You love that orange cum, don't you? All up and down your throat. So don't come at me, act like I'm a sucker. You a sucker for still rolling with Trump, even though he demonstrated many times over that he is not against Hillary, that he is a Hillary proponent. He just proved that. So miss me with your bullshit and keep riding his dick into despair. Peace out.